Year! Happy New Year! Wait, why am I talking like this? I'm just gonna keep this in. But anyway, hi guys, welcome back, and I hope you guys had a fantastic holiday season. And yeah, before I get into this recording, before I get into this video, just a little update. This is a re-recording of a video that I already uploaded that I took down, and some of the stories is not going to be a first reaction. Like one of the stories were taken down since then, so I had to open up a new story. But that's besides the point. So some of these stories is not going to be my first reaction to it. The reason why I took that video down is I was not in a very good headspace. That week we were constantly being harassed and I was under a lot of stress, and I kind of reached my breaking point, and it kind of came through a lot in my last reaction. I was not being fair, I was not giving good advice, I wasn't being constructive, and that's not what these reactions are for. They are for constructive criticism and, just to like put yourself in that person's shoes and how you would dealt with the situation, or what advice you can give based off what you are reading, because and I was not doing that. I am in a much better headspace now, you know, but that's just a little update of what happened and why there's been such a long break in these Reddit retail reaction stories. Um, I have been nervous to do these stories again because of that video. But yeah, fingers crossed, and let's get into the stories before I babble on too long. But yeah, let's first take a sip of coffee. See what I mean? We're back. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'll calm down. I'll calm down. Okay, because her. Oh, wait. I remember this one. Angry woman demands refund at boba shop because her daughter didn't like the drink. So this happened almost 2 years ago, but I remember it when joining this subreddit. Wait, hold on, let me just do this. Uh, no, I don't want to do that. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to move this thingy because I can't. Half of the story is covered. Why don't you want to move? No, I don't want to do that. No, what? Wait, hold on. I'm gonna have to close this. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna have to close and open this up again. So let's just close that. I am so sorry about this. Like all of this I'm keeping in because this is funny. This is funny. Okay, it's not funny. Like ha ha ha, you're so funny. It's just hilarious that this is happening. Okay, there we go. Okay, now I need to open up all of my tabs, every single tab that I've got here. Hey, there we go. Okay, cool. I was struggling to get to the title, guys. Okay. Angry Moon. Moomin. Yes, that makes perfect sense. Guys, I swear, I know how to read. Okay. Angry woman demands refund at boba shop because her daughter didn't like the drink. So this happened almost 2 years ago. Wait, okay. I remembered when joining this subreddit. For context, I work at a well known boba shop in a busy mall. All the employees. I'm losing my space. See, guys, I told you, I am so nervous with these reactions because of that damn video. I can't get it out of my head. Okay, deep breath. And slow deep breath. Let's do this all together. Let's do this like 3 rounds of this. Slow deep breath in. 1, 2, 3. And slow deep breath out. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again. And out. And one last time for luck. Third time's the charm, guys. And out. Okay. Now we're focused. For context, I worked at a well known boba shop in a busy mall. All the employees were either high school students or college kids, ages ranging from 14 to 20, and the two managers were married. The owner almost abandoned this location to focus on another one. Our managers were very cheap and never wanted to waste a single drop of products or give a refund unless really needed. I remember the first time when I read this, I was like, you know what? It makes sense because buying ingredients, if you own a restaurant or a coffee shop or a little boba shop or whatever, buying ingredients is expensive. You don't want those ingredients going to waste. So I don't think the managers were cheap. I think they were just like, we just don't want to waste our resources because we're not using every single product that we poured money into. So I don't think that was them being cheap. I just think that was them being like, we are not wasting because this stuff is expensive or, it costs money too. So I don't think they were being cheap. But let me know what your thoughts are. Now, the story at the time, 18 female, co-worker and I at this time, 15 female, were working on a mildly busy day. This woman comes with her three kids, her oldest daughter, middle son, and youngest daughter. They ordered their three drinks like normal, and some of them got slushes instead of milk tea, whatever, pretty normal. Okay. When we hand them their drinks on the other side of the kiosk, they try it there. Could have moved for other customers, but okay. Yeah, guys, I don't like that. If you know there's a queue, okay, guys, just keep this in mind. The world does not revolve around you, okay? If you are standing in a queue and you have got your order, do not hold up the queue. There are other people behind you. They would love to get their drink or their food. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if they have lunch, they have a lunch break. You don't know if they have a business meeting that they, like have at the place or that they are rushing to or whatever. Don't hold up the queue. The world does not revolve around you. Move out of the way for the next person. Being considerate to others doesn't cost a damn thing. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt other people. It's being kind. It's not going to kill you. Just be more aware of your surroundings, I guess is what I'm saying. Just be a little bit more aware of your surroundings. If you if you are busy at the till and the customer, let's say when you got there there was no queue, you were the only one there, and now you're busy at the till and there's like 10 people behind you all of a sudden, and the person be like, I'm sorry, ma'am, but can you please move so I can help the person behind you? And you just like, what person? And you look behind you and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see the queue. And then you just move aside and you let that person continue with their job, and you just have an awareness when you go outside, especially when there are queues. Just be more aware of your surroundings, be more considerate. You don't have to be nice. I don't like being nice because when you're being nice, it feels like you're being two-faced. That's just my opinion. You can be the kindest person in the world and still be mean, but at least you kind. I'd rather deal with a kind person than a nice person. So it doesn't cost you a thing to be kind. It doesn't cost you a thing to be considerate. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. Sorry, I'm going off on tangents over here. But okay. A little bit later, she comes back in line and starts asking my co-worker for a refund because her youngest daughter didn't like the slush. Not in exchange for something she might have liked, but an entire refund. If you order something because you're trying it for the first time and you think it's interesting and you don't like it, you cannot ask for a refund because they gave you what you asked for. And if you don't like it, then you know next time not to order it. You- If you don't like something, you can't ask for a refund, especially when it comes to food and drinks. You can't just drink it and be like, oh, my daughter doesn't like it. Can I please get a refund? No. If you buy a shirt and you don't try it on in the store and you take it home and you be like, I don't like how this shirt looks on me, that is different to food and drink. Like, no, guys. Again, be more aware of your surroundings. Look at where you are. Look at what you're dealing with. Ugh. Okay, I'm fine. So, my coworker tells us since we didn't make her drink incorrectly, we cannot give her a refund as we have a policy to only give refunds when it is a mistake on our part. She argues with her for way too long before asking to speak to the manager. My worker tells her that our manager isn't here at this moment, but we can get her on the phone. At this point, I can't remember if there were other customers behind her or if we had finished the line. Anyway, my co-worker goes in the back and calls our boss to explain the situation. She comes to the front, puts her phone on speaker, and the woman explains her side of the story. My boss then says the same thing. Since it was no mistake on our part and they did not mess up your drinks, we will not be able to give you a refund. Sweet. She basically storms off after that with all her kids to a sitting area right in front of our shop kiosk, practically vibrating with anger as her kids look sad or maybe embarrassed. Eventually, after some time, they leave, and I see she left all of the drinks in a circle around the edge of the garbage bin, but where they were sitting. Like, okay, you wasted your own money, not ours. Exactly. I like the way the situation was handled and stuff like that. There was like, yeah, the customer was being a little bit difficult and stuff like that, but it wasn't like, dealing with a completely impossible customer who just refuses to listen even after speaking to the manager and causing issues where security needs to be called and stuff like that. So, because of that, I'm gonna rate this like a 2 or 3 because a manager was involved, but it's not as bad. What would you rate this? How would you deal with the situation? I know I've vented a bit in the story because it drives me insane that people can't use common sense. Um, but yeah, I would have most probably handled the situation the same way. It's against store policy. There's nothing I can do because you don't own the business and it's not worth losing your job over a customer who's being difficult. It really isn't. You were just doing your work, and if the customer doesn't want to listen and they speak to the manager and the manager tells them the same thing, what the customer does with that information is completely up to them. Just know that you've done your job. But yeah, I think I would have handled the situation the same way. And what would you guys rate this out of 5? One being, it's not that bad, it's a great story, or it's wholesome, or it's just funny. 5 being, blood has been spilled. So, what would you rate this? I would say 2 or 3 because, like I said, a manager got involved. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. That is angry woman demands refund at boba shop because her daughter didn't like the drink. And I like the fact, like okay, you waste your own money, not ours. Exactly. Like, what did you think what did you think she was gonna do? Run after you and be like, oh no, please finish your drink. No, don't leave it there. Whatever. No, you wasted your own money. You could have given that drink to somebody else if you didn't drink from it, or you could have been like, hey, listen, can I get another takeaway cup and pour the drink into a fresh takeaway cup and, give it to somebody else who might need it more than you, you know. But yeah, I'm sorry, but this customer is just being silly. Okay, moving on. We will not hold your packages. I remember the story. Oh my word. Oh, this one drove me insane. This is just a classic example of people just don't listen. They hear, but they don't listen. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, this drives me insane. Absolutely insane. Okay, let me just. Oh, let me just. I need coffee before I get into the story. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a long story. So, some background. I'm a shift supervisor for a retail drugstore chain. One service our store offers is pickup and drop off. One of those package delivery companies, DC. If a package has an age restricted item, it's usually dropped at our store. So, our packages where the recipient wasn't home for a few days. Sometimes customers ask for their package to be rerouted to our store so porch pirates can't get to them. We strongly emphasize that we are only associated with DC, not any of its competitors, and due to us being a third party, we have a very limited service and a lot of restrictions. Whenever a package is picked up for a dropped off, we must scan into DC's system. Okay, so far so good. A few weeks ago, we received two packages addressed to our DC service. However, they weren't scanning. We first brushed it off as a glitch. We noted it and had the same name, Karen. Karen came and got her packages. I got suspicious when a third package came, but it was delivered by Amazon. Due to it being the rush hour, I just took the package. 2 weeks ago, an employee received a mail from the post office along with the store's mail. There was a package for Karen addressed to our DC service. Employee showed me the package an hour later. I attempted to scan it in to no avail. I showed it to my store manager. Store manager said if a package doesn't scan, to give it back to the delivery person and to let employees know that only management will take mail and deliveries from now on. Okay. Well, last week we got our answer to the mysterious Karen packages. I'm working a late shift. I get a call. Customer. Ah, Hi, I had a package delivered 2 days ago to your store. I have another package being delivered tomorrow. However, I won't be able to come and get it for another few days. Will you hold it until then? Me. Thinking she's talking about DC. DC uh, has us uphold packages on site for at least a week longer if we ask. Customer, it's not from DC. Me. We're a third party pickup and drop off sites for DC. We only accept packages from DC. Customer, can you check if my package is there? My name is Karen. Everything clicked. This is where it gets interesting and frustrating at the same time. Me. Actually, we are no longer accepting your package. They do not scan. If they do not, they will be given back to the delivery person. Karen, I was told I could store my packages at your place. Me. We are a third party DC location. We only accept and store packages for DC. This went back and forth for a while. I told her at least 3 times we're a third party pickup and drop off sites for DC. I did check for her packages, none were here. I informed Karen of that. Karen, so how do I get my packages? Me. You'll have to contact the delivery company. Fair. Okay, I'm gonna stop here before I continue reading. Okay, if a company tells you we do not offer these services, they do not offer those services, no matter how many times you ask or how you put it. Get it through your head. I swear, like if I was in this situation, this is not me being angry or upset or whatever. I genuinely get like this when people do not listen to me and I have to repeat myself multiple times. I really, really get so angry. I will turn to that person and I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am or sir. Do you need your ears washed out? Do you need your ears waxed? Or do you need your ears stretched? We do not offer these services. I'm not going to tell you this again. Like I would honestly just that's how I would have spoken to the customer like after repeating myself multiple times. Um and then she'll if they give me a lip and I'm like I'm sorry ma'am, I'm not going to repeat myself and again if you got a problem you're going to have to phone your delivery company, goodbye. And I would have hung up. I wouldn't like I can't ah mm, mm. Karen hung up and I sent a bulk text out to all of management stating the mystery of the Karen packages has been solved. She's using our DC services for her personal package storage and to not receive any and to make sure employees don't receive any. I had the next 2 days off. However, When I returned, my colleagues had a crazy story to tell. I think that's the only part where I got so irritated, and that's why I was just like, oh, the story. Karen had come in looking for her packages, demanding that. Oh, see, this is why I got so irritated when I saw the story because people don't listen. Okay, breathe, breathe. It's okay, Cassandra. It's okay. Barry, Barry, I need to hug you. Guys, I'll introduce you guys to Barry later, but right now I just need to hug Barry. Barry is our official stream mascot, okay? Our official Twitch mascot. But we're just gonna hug Barry. We're just gonna hug Barry, okay? We just need to hug Barry. Cause Barry's gonna help us calm down. He's gonna help us not get so angry, okay? Okay. If you guys want to know the story behind Barry, let me know how Barry became a mascot and why, you know. Let me know and I will definitely share the story with you. But I'm just gonna hug Barry right now because I need to breathe. This makes me so mad. I can't stand it when people don't listen and then they lie about it. Barry's just like hugging me. He's just like, there. He's just patting me. He's like, it's okay. It's okay. Calm down. Just breathe. Just breathe. It's okay. Calm down. See? Okay, Barry, I'll calm down. I'll calm down. Oh, man. Okay, there we go. Ah. Karen had come in looking for her packages, claiming that I specifically mentioned my name, stated that she could and that I could print out a DC label for her. She even described me as a white woman, which almost caused one employee to burst out laughing. For the record, I am an Oriental Asian woman. One look at me and it's unmistakable. I was born and raised in the USA, so I speak perfect English with no accents. I do have an American first name, which is used at work. My last name is also American sounding due to marriage. However, it's seldomly used with customers. My colleagues also know I don't take shit from anybody. I like this person. And I'm pretty strict follower of the rules and can be quite tough where others don't follow them. Pretty much I would have never made a promise like that to this Karen. It got so bad that my store manager had to get involved. He tells Karen the same thing I told her somewhere in the conversation. Karen mentions a friend or something online telling her to do this so her packages won't get stolen. Okay, I'm gonna stop this right. I get that you're worried about your stuff getting stolen, especially when spending money on it, money that you worked for and stuff like that. I understand that. But that is not a reason to not listen and lie about things. No, it's not a reason to lie and possibly, cause that person to lose their job because you refuse to listen. Stop it. If you're really that concerned, you could have gone to them and be like, okay, do you know of this is what I would have done if I was the customer, okay? And if they said, if on the phone with this person, let's say I didn't listen on the phone and I came to this place and I'm just like, okay, um, I'm here to get my packages, and they told me that they can't take my packages anymore. And I'm like, okay, I understand. Whatever. I would have at least turned around and said to these people, I'm worried about my packages getting stolen. I'm not always at home. Do you know of a place where I can get my packages delivered to so they won't get stolen? And then I can just go and fetch them. That's what you do. If you send your packages to places like this and they say, listen, we're a third party for this company, we can't accept your packages, all you have to do is turn around and ask them, okay, I understand this is where I got this information from. Can you maybe point me somewhere to where I can send my packages so that they don't get stolen and they are safe so then I can just go pick them up after work or when I come back from holiday or whatever she was doing that week. That's the appropriate response, not refuse to listen because you don't get your own way, show up to the place and still refuse to listen and lie about what a person told you over the phone. You do realize phone calls are recorded these days, so they can go back at the phone call and be like, no, she didn't say this. And they can play the phone call back to you and be like, this is what you said, this is what you said. You just didn't want to listen. You're not getting your own way, so you're trying to cause issues. Like, guys, don't do this. Please don't do this. Okay? It's not gonna look good on you. And trying to get other people into trouble with their jobs and their manager. Uh, no, okay? If you want to ruin your own life, then fine, ruin your own life. Don't drag other people down with you. Oh, this makes me so mad. We reported Karen to our district manager and to all the other stores in the area. It's been a week and so far no more packages addressed to Karen have come in. Let's hope it stays that way. I actually like the way they dealt with it. I would say the other one is a 2. This is a 3 because of how angry this made me. But I don't think I would have handled this as calmly as what they've handled it. I think I would have gotten really petty and sarcastic with the customer, and that could have gotten me into trouble. So don't do that. um, the way they handled this situation was very professional, and I take my hat off to them. And yeah, they handled this a lot differently to what I would have handled this situation. But what would you rate this story? Like, what would you rate this? What would you have done in this situation? And yeah, let me know your thoughts on do I have like, and what do you guys think of my ranting about people not listening? Let me know about that. But yeah, moving on to the third story, and I need to breathe. Oh, just another day behind the counter. I kind of remember the story. I remember the story, and I've got a story to add to the story. I'm so happy I'm re-recording this. Okay, so just had to take a couple of sips of coffee. Yeah, just another day behind the counter. So several years ago, I worked in a service station situated on a busy highway between two cities. For context, I'm in New Zealand. Hey! I'm from South Africa. Welcome in, New Zealand. It was a job I absolutely loved most days. The locals were great, mostly. My co-workers were hilarious. I have so many stories, a lot of them quite funny. Here is a funny one. I love funny stories. In the early years, we were at a depot for a local courier. There was a huge shed out the back of the shop that the couriers used for storage. It had mice. We had food to sorry, it had mice. We had food so very occasionally we also had mice. There were plans in place to rehome the mice, but it hadn't happened yet. Okay. So guys, if you guys have an infestation and just be like, ew, mice, ew, why didn't they just it's not always that easy to get rid of an infestation because you don't know if that might let's say you find all the mice in that area and you like rehome them, you don't know how many babies that mice had, and then now next thing you know, you think you got rid of all these mice and now there's more mice running around and you're just like, where did they come from? Those other mice that you got rid of, they had babies. So it's not that easy just to get rid of an infestation. It does take a lot of work, it does take a lot of time. So don't just go bashing places because they got an infestation. You don't know how that infestation occurred. You don't know if a business moved in and because they're unhygienic and they're unclean, it brought in this infestation. Now it's a problem for every store in the area. Like you don't know what's going on, so don't just go around judging that person and be like, "Ew, you dirty." That you don't know how this happened. You don't know what caused it. You don't know why the situation is there. It's quite a you know, task to get rid of an infestation of any kind. Okay, moving on. I got to work in the morning and the boss called me out to the back to look at the security tape. It was like a comedy skit. The evening shift girl was behind the counter serving a customer. She's a teeny little thing, only 5 feet and maybe 50 kgs, soaking wet. Okay, I don't know why he said soaking wet. I'm not sure. Maybe she's working after, she went down to the coast, or maybe it was raining, but I don't know why that part was necessary. But anyway, she takes the money, till opens, and out jumps a mouse. She screams and leaps straight up onto the counter. It was a great jump for her size. That's Olympic selection right there. The customer was laughing so hard he was toppled over. She was quite famous for weeks. We looked inside the till and still can't figure out how the hell it got in there in the first place. This story I'll rate a 1 because it is funny. Now I can add to the story. So we don't know if it's a mouse or a rat. Now, when I say a rat, we don't get big rats here like you do in America. Um, I think this was just a normal roof rat or whatever because they're a lot smaller. Um, but it was so fast we couldn't like actually study it, so we couldn't see if it was a mouse or a rat or whatever because it was really, really fast. So what happened was like the one day I walk into the kitchen and there's this mouse on the counter and it ran into the washing machine. And then when I went to the look at the washing machine and I was pulling out all my sheets and stuff like that, I did not see the mouse there. It just disappeared. I don't know where it went. I don't know, like whatever. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, maybe it got out. It went out the window. It went out the door. I don't know. I'm not going to try and look. And we would see this mouse or rat or whatever it was. We would see this rodent. That's what I'm going to call it. A few times. I saw it a few times. Every time when I looked where it ran, I didn't see it anymore. It was either hiding, it found a hiding place because I know they can get as small as a quarter. So it will be very difficult to spot. Um, but I couldn't find it. I didn't see it. I don't know where it went, whatever. So I was like, you know what, whatever. My mom came a couple of days, and Erin was sniffing around that kitchen. My cat was sniffing around that kitchen and could not, like, it smelled the mouse or rat or whatever. And Erin knew it was there, but he could not get to it. And my cat always brings in, like, when there was one time where he was killing these things left, right, and center, and he was like, I'm like, Erin, I love you. If you want to kill it, please eat it. Do not leave it somewhere where we can't find it. Because that's what he used to do. And it drove us insane because those things stink. But anyway, um, yeah, so my gran walked into the kitchen and it ran behind the fridge. My gran was like closed the kitchen door, pulled out the washing machine, pulled out the tumble dryer, pulled out the fridge, and the ran just opened up the back door and it just ran out the back door. And I'm like, well, that was easy. I didn't think it would be that easy, but it was. Cleaned behind everything, moved everything back, and yeah, that's what happened. But I named it Jerry because it was always escaping Aaron. Like Aaron is very good. Aaron is a skilled hunter. Okay, he hunts these things down, and like, where did you find this? And he just like sits there and looks at me and goes back to sleep. So I named it Jerry because it was constantly escaping my cat, and we every time when we tried to find it, we couldn't find it. So yeah, yeah, that's why I named it Jerry. But that's just my little story. It's just reminiscence of like, based off the story. But yeah, how would you guys have handled the situation? Would you also jump up the counter, or would you just squeal and jump up in the air and back on the ground like ah? What would your reaction be? I find this hilarious. I don't know how I would have reacted. I think I would have gotten a little fright and just jumped back a little bit. I don't think I would have jumped up on the counter. um, but yeah, how would you have handled the situation and what would you have done and what would you rate this story? And what do you think of my story and me naming the mouse escapee slash rats escapee that we had running around in our kitchen that we just could never catch until one day my grandma was like, "No, I'm just moving everything," and then just ran out the back door. Okay. Um, this is a short story, so again, it is truly a Monday. This is the second time I'm reacting to this story. The last story will be my first reaction because, like I said, the other story I reacted to was taken down. Unfortunately, I don't know if the person who wrote the story took it down or if um Tales from Retail took it down. Like, I don't know what happened where they took the story down, why they took the story down, but yeah, so I had to get a new story for this week. Okay, I've had Karens all day long while dealing with the delivery truck, I'm guessing they're trying to say here. This one takes the cake so far. I'm on lunch, so hopefully it doesn't get worse from here. Oh, guys, please don't ever say that. If you are having a bad day, just don't say the words this day couldn't possibly get any worse because something will happen that the day becomes worse. Guys, just be like, today's a bad day, and you're not, I'm just gonna roll with the punches. Just say that. Or just don't say anything at all, and by the time you get home, you just be like, before you close your eyes, you just be like, I'm grateful the day is over. Good night. That's it. Don't invoke anything, guys. Anyway, I had a woman and her daughter come to check out. They separated their orders and the mom went first. She paid for her air fryer and then after paying asked, "What if it doesn't work? Can I return it?" "Ma'am, the appliance says flat out on it. Item is a sold, no warranty or guarantee." In huge letters directly under the price tag. Also note, we are a second-hand store. Me, "Ma'am, we do not allow returns items sold as is." Her, "Oh, daughter, that's that is not Texas law. You haven't till you leave the store to return." Me, We do not allow returns." Daughter, "It is the law. I know my rights as a citizen." 1. We have outlets scattered throughout the store to use. We test the items before they go out on the floor. Texas law does not have a policy regarding returns, other than it is at the store's discretion. I would have just turned around to the daughter and I'm like, "You are embarrassing your mother right now, first of all. Second of all, please, like, go and actually study your laws. This is what the law says. And we have outlets if you want to test the product before purchase." And if the daughter carries on, I'm like, "Okay, cool, you're banned. You can't shop here anymore. Bye." I would have honestly turned to the daughter and be like, "First of all, you're embarrassing your mother. Second of all, this is the law. Go study it. And third of all, I do not get paid enough to deal with screaming children. If you don't like it, there's the door. And if you don't want to leave and if you want to continue acting like a child and throwing a tantrum, we will have you removed. And if you destroy anything on your way out, we will sue and you will face criminal charges." That's how I would have dealt with the situation. Like, I'm sorry. I'm going to say the same thing my grandfather used to tell me growing up every time when he came across a difficult child or parents having problems with their child. I would have turned to them and I would have just been like, I think because it's been drilled into me growing up, I would have had the same attitude as my grandfather. I don't deal with, um, I don't. He used to use the word kabotish. That's an Afrikaans term, so basically meaning I don't deal with difficult children. I don't deal with children throwing tantrums. I was like, they're a child. What do they know? That's basically it. Like I don't deal with children like this. You either behave or you don't. If you don't behave, oh well. I'm not dealing with it. It's like, but yeah, that's just how I would have dealt with the situation. How would you have dealt with this situation? What would you rate this? Whatever. I feel bad for the mom in this one, but I would rate this like a one because it's not that bad. Um, it's just somebody blowing steam, and that's it. They're just blowing steam because they're not getting their own way. That's all that is. Okay, moving on to the last story of this reaction. So this one is a medium. Woman refuses to compromise, then blames us. Okay, this one sounds like it's going to be an interesting one, and this is a medium story. So mm, let's get into it. For context, this happened about 2 years ago when I worked at a boba shop. It was located in a mall and half of the only locations in our city. All employees except managers were teenagers or college students, ages ranging from 14 to 19. Okay, this is another thing that I've got a problem with because we already covered a story with dealing with teenagers. You're an adult person. You like in your 30s, your 40s, like you may be 29, whatever. You are a grown ass adult. Okay, hold on. You're a grown ass adult. What do you get from fighting with a child? What do you think is gonna happen? You really think you're gonna get your own way? Do you really think people are gonna be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you didn't get your own way. Here's a naughty badge. Hope you feel good." Do you really think that's what's gonna happen when you are fighting with a literal child? I'm sorry. If you're in your teenagers, if you're not in, you're still a child, okay? When you're the way I said, if you're 20 and over, then you're an adult, because even 19, you're still a teenager because there's teen in the word 19. So, what do you get with fighting with a child? Really, like, come on, guys, let's not do this, please. Let's not do this. Okay, the story. This day was pretty slow and it was just me, 15 female, and my coworker, 17 female, working that day. These two women come up and are starting to order, asking a few questions, but it's normal. I was on cashier and one of the ladies asked me if she can get extra sugar in the matcha milk. Okay. I tell her that our matcha powder is already a formulated powder with sugar in it. So we really aren't allowed to put more sugar in it. You'll see why. It's two different sugars. It's stupid, but it's our rules. She starts getting an attitude, rudely asking why. So I politely explained that our sugar is a thick, syrupy cane sugar and we aren't really allowed. She starts throwing a tantrum and makes a big deal out of picking a new drink. Panicked Panicked me and my coworker trying to people please tell her that we can put the sugar in for her and put it in our shakers, but the milk might turn out a little frothy. She says, no, no, it's whatever, all curds. Her friend is literally laughing at her tantrum at this point and trying to tell her to just compromise, but she's getting a bigger attitude with her friend. So she settles for another drink and it's time to pay. The tip question comes up on our tablet, and I really didn't expect her to tip or care if she does. But she does this dramatic snort, laugh, and goes "Tsk," before dramatically clicking what I know is the 0% option. Bet she felt so nice leaving with her drink, knowing she made two teenage girls' jobs harder. Probably added more flavor to the drink. Yeah, I would rate this like a 3 or 4 because that was completely unnecessary. Like, it must be so embarrassing to throw a tantrum as an adult in a store when you can't get away. Like, even your friend is making fun of you. How are you not embarrassed? How do you not feel any shame whatsoever? Like, it doesn't compute in my mind. What? th- This is a genuine question. This is not being biased or whatever. What pleasure do you get fighting with a literal child or literal teenager while doing their job? And you, to be honest, I would have been like, ma'am, you're a grown ass adult throwing a tantrum. I am 15. I'm just trying to do my job here. If this is really a problem, he's like, I'll be like, ma'am, I'm 15 years old. I'm just doing my job as told. And you are throwing a tantrum. You're a grown ass adult. Like, aren't you embarrassed? I can't go against store policy because I'll lose my job because you throwing a tantrum. I'm sorry, no. I know, like guys, don't do this. Don't be like this. If you can see that this person is like 15, 16, 14, however old they are doing their job, and like think twice before screaming and shouting at this person because they're just doing their job. They're not there trying to make your life difficult. How are you not in? How are you? Oh, just because somebody told you no, I don't understand. No is not a hate crime. No is not a violent committing violence of any kind. It's just no. I honestly believe that in today's society, people do not understand the word no because they are not taught it. I think teaching the word no needs to be brought back into society. When somebody says no, it is not a suggestion. It is no. People aren't playing mind games. People aren't just be like, if somebody says no, this cannot be done, it means no, this cannot be done. Not, oh, I'll make an exception for you. No is no. It's as simple as that. I was like, I swear people need to start learning the definition of the word no. You know what? Let me give you guys a lesson. Okay, this is where sassy sassy Jules comes out. Okay, this is where sassy Jules come out. Actually, you know, let me just close this because I do have a dictionary. I actually have dictionaries, guys. I'm just gonna grab my dictionary. Just give me a sec. Just give me a sec. Okay. Um found it. Oxford Mini Dictionary. I had this in school. Okay. Let's just go to the end section. Oh, we went past the end section. Now we keep going. Okay, M. Yeah. Okay, we at NU. Now we at NO. Nope. That's not it. There we go. We're getting closer to the word. Just give me a sec. No, not any. Used to refuse or disagree. Not at all. No man's land, an area between two opposing armies that is not controlled by either. No one, no person. I'm going to read this again. No. Used to refuse or disagree. Not at all. No is no, guys. Nowhere did I read no is a suggestion. When somebody says no, they actually mean yes. I didn't read that here. Guys, come on. You guys learned something new today, okay? And I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm being sassy. I'm being sassy. I'm not trying to like make anyone feel bad. I'm not trying to down talk on anyone. It's just hearing stories like this makes me so mad when people throw tantrums in a store or think it's okay to hurt somebody when they say no. Like it's not that serious. It's not like somebody's ripping your arm off. Like, come on, guys, just be more considerate. It doesn't hurt to be respectful. It doesn't hurt to be kind. And if somebody says it's not part of store policies, we cannot do it, respect that. Please just respect that. That's all I ask. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of today's video and what you guys think of today's reaction, what you guys think of today's stories, and how would you rate them. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and say hi and Happy New Year!